We made it again. We are to the first playthrough. I don't know how far we'll make it in this episode. Basically, we're getting set up. We are creating our adventurer for the very first time. And I think that's the main show. We might get to kind of the first town encounter. Who knows? Maybe we go a little bit further before I'm interrupted. I don't know. I'm just playing this thing as I go. If you don't know what I'm doing here, I'm trying to spend 100 hours with Elder Scrolls to see how it evolves over time. Really, what you're watching aren't polished playthroughs whatsoever. They are me play testing the game as I go. This is a review in progress. You're going to see my process in kind of looking at a game, assessing it, reviewing it, all of that stuff. All of this will culminate in one big 100-hour review video. But until then, I have to play the game, and that's what we're doing today. And we're starting right here at character creation. I've already done the basic setting up the map. We're starting with Black Marsh. Out of the gates. We don't know what guild we're going to be hired by yet. We have to do that whole process. But right now we just have to set up our adventurer. Our adventurer is one. We are starting with solo on this first play. I'll probably play multiple handed, two-handed, essentially a little bit later on. But right this second, we're going to go solo. There's a lot of rules. So I'm going to, tiptoe my way into the pool. So we have High Elf, Nord, Orc, and Dark Elf. These are, I sorted through the races, and these are the ones that kind of spoke to me out of the gates. We're going to look at some of the stat differences here. Health is 4 all the way across, with the exception of the Orc at 5 health. Stamina on all of them is 2 all the way across. Magicka, we do have some differences here. High Elf at the most with 4, Dark Elf with 3, and Nord and Orc at 2. Combat 1, 3, 1, 2. So it looks like Nord out of the gates is swinging the hardest. And then cooldown 2 all the way across, with the exception of the Orc. So typically in games, I'm not really kind of the sword and board strength character. I'm typically kind of like typically magic is where I'm going. So I wonder if this playthrough, I should start with kind of the behemoth that is the Orc with 5 health. I am a little bit surprised it only has 1 combat. So that's why I might actually lean towards Nord. I mean, Nord has 4 health, 2 stamina, 2 magicka, 3 combat, and 2 cooldown. This looks like a pretty decent character out of the gates. Or race. The question is, I should probably look forward at the classes and the skill lines. Oh, I'm highly tempted to go magic here. High Elf looks really good. And Orc is just different from what I typically play. I'm usually not playing the tank. I think for now, I'm going to go with the Nord. I'm going with Nord here. Why am I doing that? I like the art. I think the art is cool. You know what I should have probably done and also pointed out, although lights are a little hot, we have a little bit of glare here, so I apologize. Maybe we'll keep it on this side for now. So her race ability, once per battle, when performing and engage in, I don't know what the battle form are. I think the autofocus was freaking out a little bit. I just changed focus mode. Hopefully that helps. I don't see it freaking out anymore. So hopefully we're good there. All right, so that looks pretty good. So Reveler, once per battle, when performing and engage, I can add 1 enemy combat die to my engage, plus an additional enemy combat die for each weapon in my inventory. That seems pretty cool. So I guess just to go through all of them. So with Orc, it has Swift Warrior. Once per battle, after the end of my turn, gain 1 over fatigue to take an immediate extra turn. Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah, that actually is really cool. Let's see what Dark Elf does. Once per battle during your turn, recover any 4 skill dice from your cooldown track, replacing each with a light fatigue. That could be cool. Get us out of... There's some tough trade-offs there. There's no trade-off with the Reveler and Nord, so let's just check out High Elf. Once per battle during your turn, place any adventurer in an unoccupied entrance tile hex and heal them for 3 HP. That sounds cool. Playing pure solo, it's just going to be myself. It'd probably be a little less helpful, but I'm going to stick with Nord. So next up, we have to add our stats here, and we just basically go down the line and add stats. You can put them wherever you want. The cool part about this system is you put these little stat tokens on either side, and they interact with each other, in that you can only upgrade, one, two, three, six spots across the board, and some of them are stats, some of them are related to dice. But if you want to be strong in two particular stats, you probably shouldn't put them in the same row. So there's all of that. So Magicka, we are already light on Magicka. We're probably, I don't know. I don't even know where to put everything at this point. I wonder if I put Magicka up there with health, just because I'll probably lean away from Magicka based skills. So with health up here, you don't add anything across until you upgrade it. It just starts with 4. And then stamina, I have to plug in the 2. So I have a 2 stamina base. Magicka, the same thing. I don't know if that was a mistake up there or not, but we'll see. Combat is probably going to be pretty big for me. I'm going to do this, and then I have to get 3 combat die. These are the generic combat die, not to be confused with the skill die when we select a skill line. And then cooldown is 2. So we put the little peg in that 2 spot. I think I got this thing right so far. So now combat skill line, which we already did. And then we have to add a starting skill line. So we have to choose one other skill line here. So here's combat out of the gates. Pretty basic. Use the active result for defense, or the non-active result for damage. It's recommended that you kind of really focus on damage, especially if you are just starting with this game. The question is, what type of character do I want here? I mean, you can also add skill lines as you go, but you are up to if they actually get drawn or not out of the bag once you're at towns during the town steps. I kind of like this idea of Shadow here. And I think since Shadow doesn't have a battle form called out, you can use them for anything, which is good. So you get to add 2 of their level 1 dice. So there's Shadow Cloak. The active result, gain a stealth status when you place this die in your active slot. When engaging an enemy, you may exhaust this die to ignore X number of defense on your target. That is actually pretty cool. Stealth status is also pretty cool, I believe, from what I remember in the tutorial. When a unit determines a target, oh no, that's steal. Oh, status effects down here, duh. This unit can only be targeted by opposing units that were adjacent to it at the start of the current turn. If this unit deals damage, this die is removed. That's pretty awesome. I think as a true solo character, that could definitely come in handy here. So I think I might go Shadow, although that's 1 level 1 die. What's the other one here? So the other result on Shadow Cloak is gain 1 light fatigue, then gain a stealth status die. Okay, so we're dealing with stealth. Refreshing Shadows is the other level 1 die here. Here, I'll put that there so you can see it. Right here is what I'm referring to. There's 1 result, gain 1 bonus HP for each unit affected by a stealth status die. That might be more effective in a multiplayer game, I'm not sure. And then remove up to 2 light fatigue from your cooldown track for each unit affected by a status die. That would be helpful. I wonder if I have, how prevalent is stealth on other units. I don't know how great that is. Yeah, I do like the idea of just being able to roam around the map as a ninja. Another one that is interesting to me, especially being a solo character, is bow. I like the idea of bow. I guess, would the smart thing be to start with bow and then hope Shadow comes up? So with bow at level 1, there's only 1 dice. Snipe, there's 4 of them. I can deal X number of damage to my target. Ignore 1 defense on your target for this engage. And there's only 1 result at 2. Level 2 is volley. Deal a total of 4 damage distributed as you choose among enemies adjacent to you. Then place yourself in an unoccupied hex, 2 to 4 hexes away. Oh my gosh, that sounds so cool. Combination of of this with Shadow. Acid spray, select up to 3 targetable enemies, roll 2d6s for each. Apply a Bane status to each enemy for whom you roll a total of 7 or higher. I have a feeling I probably should go with bow here and hope Shadow comes up. But Shadow just seems fun. Like, it seems like it's the fun choice. And it seems like something fun to manipulate to make sure enemies aren't near you at the beginning of a turn. I guess my one question here is what determines range? I have a feeling it might be stamina, but I don't know. So I see your battle forms determine the range at which the dice can affect other units. So what does that mean? Okay, here we go. So ranged weapon, battle form, non-adjacent, up to the max stamina stat. So right now my range is 2. Okay, that makes more sense. So light weapon is adjacent only, heavy weapon adjacent only, defense no range, range weapon non-adjacent, up to max stamina stat. So I definitely want to increase stamina if I want to go ranged. Magic, up to the magic stat is how many dice you can roll. This represents engages. This represents engages using magicka. What's the range of magicka? All right, we'll figure that out later. Okay, so knowing that, I start with 2 range. So a bow would probably make sense with Shadow hopefully coming up so I can train it. All right, and already every time, once per battle, when performing an engage, add 1 enemy combat die to my engage. Oh, enemy combat die to my engage, plus an additional enemy combat die for each weapon in my inventory. All right, so we're gonna go with bow. I already forgot. I think in solo it says to, in this bag of skill lines, I should probably only have 1 per skill line in there at solo. That would help me hopefully get Shadow. Maybe I should keep multiple Shadows in there because I know I want it. All right, so bow, stamina, I don't want to throttle it all. I'm probably not going to want to with bow. Now the question is, oh, there's only 1 level 1, so I need 2 snipes. Okay. All right, I put 1 of each skill line in the bag now, and then I need my bow snipe dice. That's the one. All right, so we have a Nord, 3 combat. We've trained in bow, 2 snipe dice. Okay, now, all right, so now it asks me to place my pegs. We will start and probably stay in range because I have no real reason, I don't think, to get out of it. We have no XP. All right, so now we get to choose class. I also went through, we'll move these out of the way, and chose the coolest sounding classes. Fight me in the comments. Dragon Knight sounds cool. Night Blade sounds cool. Spell Sword sounds cool. Necromancer sounds cool. Now, the tricky part is I don't know that any of these really synergize with my ranged combat Nord. So I'm guessing Nightblade and Necromancer. That blue symbol is probably magic. Let's see here. So Dragon Knight upgrades at the end of the battle if I end the battle with 1 HP. I also, by the way, I really love this about the in-game trigger to upgrade your class. I think that is a really cool little thing, that it's an achievement that upgrades it. I think that's awesome. All right, so if there are more undefeated enemies than undefeated party members, ignore 1 defense on your target. That is certainly helpful in a solo game. So for 1, what is this called? Stamina? No, that's not stamina. Tenacity. That's what it is. Tenacity. All right, so for 1 tenacity Dragon Knight, each adventurer may move 1 hex. You may spend any amount of additional tenacity to increase the number of hexes each adventurer may move by 1 for each additional tenacity spent. Okay. Dragon Knight standard, if any order each adventure in any order each adventurer in these 3 battle forms may roll 2 enemy combat dice and deal the damage to the targetable enemy. Okay. Molten weapons, this is an interrupt before rolling dice for your engage. If you are using a weapon, Your combat skill dice deal true damage during this engage. That's kind of cool. Molten weapon. Cauterize, gain 1 over fatigue and recover up to 2 drained dice. All very helpful. And then Dragon Blood Enduring. After you defeat an enemy, you may remove 2 light fatigue or 1 over fatigue from your cooldown track. All of them would be helpful. So Nightblade, I have to defeat a level 10 or 20 enemy or a quest unit while I have the stealth status die in my cooldown track. So I am hoping to go stealth and get that shadow skill line. That could be helpful. Interrupt. When a party member, so this is Summon Shade, when a party member would be dealt damage, remove a stealth status die from my cooldown track to prevent that damage. So I'm guessing a party member would also include myself. For 2 tenacity, Shadowy Disguise, drain all available, I don't know what that says, type skill to gain a stealth status die. Okay, so this is helping me get more stealth. Soul Shred, apply a dazed status die to all adjacent enemies, heal for 1 HP. For each dazed die applied. That definitely seems like that would be helpful, although I need to figure out what is dazed. This unit cannot roll dice in the same turn it moves, and it cannot move on the same turn it rolls dice. At the end of this unit's turn, that would be incredibly helpful with that shadow skill line. Manifestation of Terror, place a fear status die in an adjacent unoccupied hex. Apply that die. So this is Nightblade's applying a lot of status effects. And then Consuming Darkness, Enduring, while you have a stealth status die in your cooldown track, enemies cannot target you. Oh, Enduring, how do you track that? Is that just like rest of battle? Wow, that would be wild. I'm interested in learning about what the economy looks like in getting this tenacity. All right, so Spell Sword. Why did I say sword? To upgrade, I have to have a total of 8 skill dice trained across combat skill line and any, whatever that symbol is, type skill line. Okay. Oh, I didn't see there's these innate abilities. So Nightblade, when a stealth status die is removed or recovered from your cooldown track, you may move up to 4 hexes. Holy crap, that would be so great. So Nightblade might be meant to be with shadows, because Shadow Cloak, gain a stealth status die when you place this die in your active slot. Or, yeah, and you get stealth status die with Shadow Cloak. And then Refreshing Shadows, gain 1 bonus HP for each unit affected by stealth. All right. The tricky part is you don't know what's going to be available. So you have to make do. I'm leaning Nightblade. I might not even go any further. I don't know. It's like I would love to know, or do I just kill Bow and actually go with Shadow? What should I do? I think I really need the damage instead of the fancy stuff. The smart thing is to go with Bow and then just figure it out. So knowing that, what's the smartest class? So Spell Sword, Hero Vigor, recover 1 drained skill die. The tenacity cost of this ability is equal to the level of recovered die. Meticulous Disassembly, discard an item, then heal for 3 HP. That doesn't sound like that fun. Soul Reservoir, when you are dealt damage, prevent an amount of that damage equal to the number of enemies in your defeated stack. Reaving Blows, if you're in the 2 battle forms that I probably won't be using. Drain an available. I still don't know what this symbol is. The symbol keeps popping up. I don't know what that is. It's a type of skill die. Then deal 2 true damage to a targetable enemy and heal 2. And then for 5, refresh an adventurer's race ability. That could be cool. Necromancer, if at least 1 enemy took damage during your engage, place 1 HP chip here, max of 6. Oh, this one sounded pretty cool because you are dealing with necrosis stacks. With Boneyard here, it's enduring. For every 2 chips in my necrosis stack, ignore 1 defense on a target. Bone Armor, remove 2 chips from the necrosis stack and place them under your own chip or that of a companion you control. Blast Bones, remove 6 chips from your necrosis stack, then draw 3 random level 1 enemies from the enemy bag, deploying them to unoccupied hexes in range. They act as companions controlled by you. That is so cool. He's raising the dead. I love that. Oh, that'll be fun to play for sure. And then Spiritual Guardian for 5, remove any number of chips from your necrosis stack and place them under a level 1 enemy from the defeated stack. Then deploy that enemy to an unoccupied adjacent hex as a companion controlled by you. It maintains its current HP. Between battles, you may only have one spiritual guardian companion. Okay, so this is one I'm absolutely going to play eventually, but not now. It's going to be Nightblade. We're going to roll the proverbial dice and see if I can get that shadow skill along with bow and create this powerhouse Nord ninja, if you will. All right, here we go. We are in Black Marsh. Now we got to figure out what guild. Now we have to figure out what guild to work with. Let's see here. All right, so the process here is that I have to shuffle these guild cards and then look at the gazetteer and make a judgment as to which guild quest I want to take on. Strew those randomly. Oh, maybe I'll draw one more. I don't want to do Undaunted. That's the tutorial. So maybe we'll go the next one up. All right, so Mage's Guild, Eyes of the Queen, or Psijic Order. So Psijic, the old ways. Oh, I guess I'm looking at the wrong side of this. Should read this first. The Psijic Order is a secretive sect dedicated to studying magic in what its members call the old ways, whether providing the advice to kings or establishing safeguards over spellcasting. The enigmatic group is one of the most powerful organizations in Nirn. The party focuses on investigating magical anomalies. This often includes battles with unique objectives. Well, that's not the best because I am shying away from magic in this particular playthrough. I'm guessing the Mage's Guild is going to be the same. A diverse collection of magic wielders brought together for the common purpose of research, magical experimentation, and teaching. The Mage's Guild is the most well-known assembly of sorcerers and mystics in all of Tamriel. The party focuses on aid and fact-finding missions. They often include playing with an allied unit. Okay. Eyes of the Queen. Though nominally in service to the Aldmeri Dominion's Queen Iren. Oh man, these names are going to kill me. The Eyes often act as independent operatives, striking from the shadows. Okay, that sounds kind of cool. These spies do what they think is best for Tamriel, no matter the cost. The party focuses on espionage missions. This may include social checks, unique battles, or non-combat actions. I don't love the idea of social checks right out of the gates here. I do like unique battles or non-combat actions. Let's take a look to see what that looks like in Black Marsh. All right, so this, here, we'll put it here so we don't have any glare. So it's Dark Lifelines. Complexity is 2, which I wanted to do a 1. Session snapshot. Travel to 3 different cities and make choices about how to complete a job in each. Okay. In the wake of the disruption of Aldmeri Dominion's Black Marsh supply point at Alton Coromont, the Eyes of the Queen would like to rush in for a new opportunity. You have been tasked with reestablishing the covert trade route, only this time it will supply the Eyes directly and employ locals who will not arouse suspicion from the Ebenhart Pact. A private contractor in the region is offering their services to set up new smuggling networks. But first, you need to subdue the local army of the, oh boy, what does that say? Renregia Mayor, which ran the previous smuggling operation. The gang of pirates is not happy that the Eyes are cutting them out of what was once a lucrative profit center, and its leadership is threatening to make trouble for you and your anonymous contractor. The Renregia Mayor has a secret base of operations in Deadwater Village. If you can neutralize the rival gang, the way it will be secured for secured for the Eyes' secret benefactor. All right. This does seem sort of complex, but kind of interesting. I don't know how that nests with my character whatsoever. So the starting location is Leowin. Special setup instructions: set aside quest unit Empowered Delsandra and Enraged Delsandra. Travel to Deadwater Village and complete a town encounter. Recommended by day 4. So I would have to start down here. So we have to get to Deadwater Village, which is right here, by day 4, which seems easy enough, and complete the town encounter. While in Deadwater Village, I must resolve one of the following as a free town action. Intimidate the gang, make a social check. People times 4. I don't know what that means. Oh, I guess I'll have to look up a social check. I've never even come across that yet. If unsuccessful, the quest is not failed. You must instead resolve one of the other 2 options and gain 1 fewer XP for this step reward. Okay. Sabotage supply lines. Gain the following persistent effects. Each shop in Black Marsh populates 1 fewer, whatever those are, loot or items. This effect lasts for the remainder of the campaign. And beat down the gang. Initiate the following clash. Add people level 5 enemies. So that would be 1 for me. Or I guess adventurer level 5 enemies to the EP and deploy them last. When deploying enemies, use as many skull enemies as possible. If this encounter is successful, each adventurer may draw 1, I think that's legendary loot. If this encounter is failed, the quest is not failed. You must instead resolve one of the other 2 options and gain 1 fewer XP for the step reward. And this is battle objective conquer. So Mage's Guild is a complexity 1. Chase down 3 different packs of beasts, fighting a clash against each. That seems kind of cool. The Mage Guild requires hale and hardy adventurers to travel Black Marsh and take down dangerous beasts. And you have answered the call. Over the last few weeks, strange animals with glowing eyes, frothing mouths, and alarming extra appendages have been sighted all over the region. Oh, this kind of feels like The Witcher. I like it. Even normally docile beasts have been making unprovoked attacks on the populace. The Mages Guild suspects the anomalous creatures are magically modified in some way. The group has tasked you with tracking down some of the beasts to retrieve samples for analysis. Reports indicate that the beast appeared to be calmed by the combination of rare Black Marsh plant elements. Perhaps the construction of an aroma burner using these reagents might make sample collection simpler. All right, so we start in the same place in Lilmoth. We place a token in Stone Wastes. This represents the tainted animals. So there is a weather mechanic, which we'll talk about, that moves this token, I believe, further away from you. Set aside the quest unit Corrupted Creature. So the quest objective: travel to the tainted animals and initiate the following clash, recommended by day 4. So we do this big clash here. So it looks like I'm going to have to roll to check the effect. However, if I would have had a mage, a ranger, or a warden, which I do not, I have a Nord, I could have selected it. So 1 through 3 enemies are deployed with 2 HP, 4 through 5 enemies increase their combat stat by 1, or 6 enemies increase their defense stat by 1. Before the clash, if an adventurer has Bright Throat Poultice, they may discard it. If they do, the encounter is automatically successful. So if you can find Bright Throat Poultice, I don't know how you do that. And then an ongoing step effects. During the Activate Province effect, roll 1d6 to determine the direction the tainted animals move. The number of hexes they move is outlined in the Overland mechanics section. Match the rolled result with the map's compass. The tainted animal party token may occupy the same hex. This one seems good. I think I might do this. That's going to be Mage's Guild, so we will select this here. And then special effect. For your guild kiosk town action, discard 1 potion or magic item and train any something type skill line from the trainer bag. Okay, so it allows you to, these symbols are incredibly small. I don't know what type of skill that is. It looks like it's this red symbol, which is not what I want. I really need to complete my ideal build, that shadow. Okay, so I don't know if this is a smart decision. We're just gonna go and try. You know what? We're probably gonna lose anyway. So what's the freaking difference anyhow? We start here in Lilmoth. We start Sunny. We have to place this token in Stone Wastes. That's where our animals are. So that's it. We're doing a natural selection. We have to, forgot what I was saying. Anyways, we got to get there. Unfortunately, I think this will move based upon the overland mechanic that is described here. So as the weather resets, this thing is going to move. How am I ever going to catch it? So if it's sunny, it moves 4 hexes toward their destination. I don't know what the destination is. Oh, I think there was another modifier mechanic that we read about, rolling another dice. Rainy moves 3, flooding, it moves 1. Well, that'll be interesting to see how that plays out with our movement. Our base movement's 3. Like, for example, the furthest we can get is right here. Okay, so this is the deal. We've got to make it to this token. That token is going to move each time depending on the weather. So that weather also slows us down as well. So to get there, I'm guessing we're going to have to take on some fatigue and do some extra movement. We will see here. But yeah, I'm going to have to beeline straight through Deadwater Village, and it's going to move. Who knows which way it'll move, actually. That will depend on the die roll. I suppose it could actually move back towards me. This could be interesting. So the very first thing I have to do here is resolve a town encounter of Lilmoth. So Lilmoth has 6 common items and 5 trainers available. Still not the one I want. Oh, that's a duplicate. That should have been pulled. I've got one more chance to get the shadow. Nope. All right, so those are the trainers that are available. All right, I just had to read through the town actions here. So I don't need to go to the inn. I don't have to heal anything. I don't have any fatigue, nothing like that. I can't train because I don't have any XP whatsoever. So basically what's left here is to go to the quest board and also go to the Marshland Market, which allows me to get an item. So my first of 2 action is to get an item. However, the Allis Bay Tradeways, when an adventurer takes a shop town action, they may gain 2 instead of 1. So I'm going to take the Elsewhere Fondue, which discard this item, then either roll, which this would be the case because I only have 1 adventurer, 3 enemy combat skill dice and gain the tenacity equal to their damage. So that's pretty cool. And I'm also going to take the Rat Skewer Bow. So for this engage, I may target an adjacent enemy. So I will often be in that ranged combat form, which I didn't necessarily know you couldn't target adjacent enemies. I thought it had read anywhere within your tenacity. So I'm guessing this implies that I can't target adjacent enemies while in that battle form. So I suppose that will be pretty helpful. Overtax, if this engage defeats an enemy, recover skill dice equal to that enemy's range stat. Okay, so those seem helpful. The other thing I was going to do, quest board. So I draw 2 quests. All right, so a Looter's Dilemma, I have to remove all the caches during my next clash, which I am headed for a clash. And I believe there's 3 caches there, if my memory serves. And nobody can take damage until I remove them. When I'm gaining items from the caches during the clash, adventurers may draw 3 items, choosing 1 to keep and 2 to discard. That's pretty cool. If this encounter has failed, discard this quest. If this encounter is successful, complete this quest, and each adventurer may choose to discard up to 4 items. For each item discarded, they may untrain a skill die or square stat token, gaining bonus XP equal to the XP cost of that slot. Always gain XP as if the die or token was in the most expensive slot you had trained for the line. I don't know that I know enough about this game to know if that's good or not. A figure in a long coat stumbles up to you. They seem quite beside themselves, using the grunts and smirks and hand gestures to communicate. Eventually, you realize that they want some alcohol. You know what? Upon further inspection, you wonder if this is really a fellow adult at all. The way they move, it seems more like they are scamps in a flowy robe. No, it looks like they're more 3 scamps. I'm guessing 3 kids in a flowy robe. But that would be crazy, right? So basically, I have to take care of 3 scamps as a companion, and if they're defeated, the quest is lost. The level 10 scamps becomes a companion controlled by the party. After gaining the side quest, if an adventurer ever gains one of the 2 items with the drink or draught trait, the item is immediately discarded along with the scamps, and you complete the quest. Each adventurer may gain 5 tenacity, and 1 adventurer may promote their class to master. Oh. If this side quest is discarded while the scamps is in battle, it becomes an enemy. Oh, man. So basically, I need to go get some booze for 3 kids that are in a robe. That's kind of interesting. So scamps, is that like a specific unit here? Okay, I am back here. I think I have this side quest figured out. So this is Scamps, a level 10 baddie. So now Scamps has 3 kids underneath it. This is now a companion. So that companion's going to walk around with me. The moment this companion dies, I forfeit this quest. The quest is done. However, if I can find an item that's either a potion or consumable that has a drink or draught trait, I immediately discard that item, and the quest is taken care of. The tricky part, though, is I just went through the entire item deck and I can't find one thing that says drink or draught. I do find alcohol, which specifically you can tell this cloaked figure wants alcohol. So I have an email out to Andrew over at Chip Theory to make sure that the wording on this is right. In the meantime, I'm going to continue to play with it. And if I find alcohol, I'm going to call it complete. It's just the way it is. So I have this side quest now. I've completed my town encounter, and now I'm moving. The question is, am I missing a step post town encounter before I move to the next day? Let's see. So I need reward phase, which I believe in town encounters, there really isn't anything to do. So I can gain rewards, gain XP or other rewards for the succeeding at the encounter. If you failed, do not gain the encounter's rewards. The party leader increases the party's total XP earned on the XP dial. So I don't believe there is any XP listed here. Oh, if I discarded legendary loot, I could have gotten some. I can untrain if I want, which I do not want to do. I could gain advancements, track quests. No, I don't have any of that to do. I could have swore I saw somewhere written that it typically doesn't give XP for town. I don't think so. I don't have anything that says it. So we're moving on. So activate the province effect. So all right, so I did not pull an Overland card, so I have to pull one, and the weather is sunny. So there will be no change as far as I know. Once again, I hope you're not watching my first playthrough for rules. We'll get to that. Oh, I think I also have to roll. I think so. So it's going to move 4 hexes toward its destination. However, I have to look at the quest. The quest is the thing that tells me about it. So I know it's moving 4 spots. In what direction, I don't know. And I say it literally left. Where'd it go? During the commercial break that I had that you didn't know I took, it went, I threw stuff everywhere. I kicked a tray somehow. And now I might be missing a token or 2. Damn it. And I am missing this one. Oh, okay. For now, until I find it, we're going to say that's the right token that should be there. That sucks. I was really hoping I didn't lose any of these tokens. Apparently I did. I don't know if I can permanently set up this dice cam, so hopefully we'll see. We'll see in the end. Now, what you are seeing is real life kind of struggle bus, remembering the rules on this particular quest. I think I have to roll some form of dice to figure stuff out. Oh my gosh, where am I? Who am I? Mages Guild. Okay. So this says something about matching the die result. Oh, okay. To the map's compass. Okay, this makes sense. We're going to roll a d6 and see what direction it's going. All right, so it's going to a 2. So now back to Black Marsh. It is going northeast 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that that totally changes where I'm going. All right, there we go. This whole time I had planned on going and hitting this unstable spot. Now I've got to figure out what is the most, I guess that's still probably the best spot to go, because I want to go as many spots as I can. I could take on fatigue and go a little bit further to another town, but I want to get into some action. So maybe I'll go 3 this first time, and then hopefully it comes back my direction. Because as you can see up here, if I roll like a 3, 4, 5, it's coming back in my direction. So we'll see. So I activated the province effects. I can rest. Adept heals for 1 HP. I have nothing to heal. I have nothing to recover. Remove 1 die. The cooldown track and cooldown stat are discussed in detail. Okay. I can trade. I don't need to trade. I can trigger any end of day effects. That is it. And then you rinse and repeat your game phases. So new day. We are already on to day 2. That was easy. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 spots. I am sunny, so I can go 3 spots. And we are going to trigger an unstable, since we are here. That's an unstable sign. Now I have to roll an unstable die and see what happens. Am I going to get peaceful? Am I going to get town or some form of conflict? I was actually hoping for that. Let's go. So then, as far as I know, I draw one of these. The main road is too busy for your taste today, so you decide to take an alternate route through some more remote hills and valleys. Far from the road, you notice some unique shapes covered by underbrush. A bit of digging reveals a little visited eye-lied ruin. You consider sticking around to see if any valuables can be salvaged, but you soon hear the rough speech of a gang of bandits. You have just made the same discovery. You search your surroundings and glimpse several ancient weapon racks. You have no idea whether their contents are still usable, but you know these ruffians will want to find out. I'm excited. I'm literally super pumped. Now, looks like we have a clash, I believe. Let's do this. Here, I actually need to I'm gonna flip to my face cam here. Let's do this. All right, I'm gonna go set up. Oh, okay, here we go. I'm back. I've set up, I've totally redone all of the views. So part of this video is gonna look one way, and then I changed it up for the second part and added a bunch of views and read some rules on clashes and figured out how to set this thing up and all of that fun stuff. Before we go any further, though, I do have a resolution on. All right, so this side quest here, it's been changed for actual printing. The item card traits are different. I'm not looking for something that is a drink or draught. I am looking for something that says alcohol, either a potion or a consumable. So that's the way I was going to play it. But it's been confirmed. Chip Theory, thank you for that. That is what I'm looking at for this side quest. I've also confirmed here that Scamps, let me change this view. All right, so Scamps is right here. This is my companion unit. It is a kid with 3 kids. It's 3 kids underneath the cloak, and I need to go get them alcohol. I think that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So if we also look at, if we check out our encounter here, you'll see the numbers that are corresponding to hexes on the map. I have an EP of 2 at this point. No, maybe it's 1. Oh, I think my thing has gotten twisted. I hadn't gotten any XP. So, my little dial thing got twisted. My bad. So I had to change this back. We are in round 1, and I actually set this up as if I had 2 XP. But actually, I wonder, now that I have a companion out here, does that change the multiplier? Does that change things to 2? Let's see. Let's check this out. All right, taking a look at the rules. Let's look at EP here. Is that what it's called? Oh my gosh. All right, so it says to multiply the party's total XP. So I'm assuming a companion is part of a party. Let's look for a party definition. The party can include both adventurer and companion units collectively. There we go. All right, so my EP is 2 because I have 2 units out here in my party, and the that XP dial is sitting at 1. So back to the map here, and maybe what we'll also do is look at the card read. So you can see the card, there are numbers here. The first unit you place is the 1 unit, of course, and then you go around 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 until you've exhausted all of your EP points. I have 2 units equaling to my 2 EP. They are both 1 power or strength or level. I think 1 level. They're level 1 units that are out here. I have a Nord Bandit with steel. I've set everything up here, but these skills. So steel, when this unit determines a target, roll 1d6. If the result is greater than or equal to its target's current HP, that target discards a non-consumable item from a ready slot. Oh, that kind of sucks. That's going to get rid of my rat skewer. So I want to take out Nord Bandit as soon as freaking possible. And then we have Hackwing over here. And Nord Bandit, by the way, has 6 health. Then we have Hackwing over here, which is elusive. This unit prevents all damage, including true damage, dealt by units that were not adjacent to it at the start of the current turn. That sucks. Okay. Now, the big trick here. So adventurers cannot move onto caches. Enemies always move toward and attempt to move onto the closest cache. Okay, so they're not going to be targeting me. They're going to be targeting the cache. Each adventurer is dealt 1 true damage and the cache is discarded. So if they can actually get on there, I'm going to take damage. So I want to try to get them to not go to their target. The good news is Nord Bandit Steel isn't necessarily pointed at me if I don't want it to. I guess it's not saying it's not going to target. It's just going to move towards the cache. It has 1 range, so it won't target me if I'm not within 1 range. Okay, this is good to know. I definitely want to prioritize knocking out this Nord Bandit. And actually, I think we should probably reorient here. So the main road, this is keep away. The main road is too busy for your taste today. So you decide to take an alternate route through some more remote hills and valleys. Far from the road, you notice some unique shapes covered by underbrush. A bit of digging reveals a little visited Aliad ruin. You consider sticking around to see if any valuables can be salvaged, but you soon hear the rough speech of a gang of bandits who have just made the same discovery. You search your surroundings and glimpse several ancient weapon racks. You have no idea whether their content or if their contents are still usable, but you know these ruffians will want to find out. Man. Okay, I think I'd already read that now that I'm thinking about it. Sorry, this is the next day after I've done a bunch of other stuff. Oh, let me show you what I've actually done too. Let's just waste more time here. So I had talked earlier in this series, I can't remember which episode it was, as to how I'm having some issues with just kind of understanding your actions. So on the adventurer's turn, while you are in battle, you start by recovering. That makes total sense. You recover the number of die equal to your cooldown stat. My stat currently is 2. I get it. But once you actually go into your actions here, and yeah, I am a dork. I did just kind of like chart this out. I am extremely visual, and yeah, this is still a work in progress. I think I'm gonna do the enemies. I'm gonna do a lot of stuff here just to help me kind of retain this stuff. So as you will see here, if you explore, you can engage, but you can't move. So this is only relevant to delves, not relevant in clashes. So we can come back to that. However, this is when it starts to get a little tricky. If you move, you can move again. This makes sense. If you move, you can engage, but you can't move or explore. Okay. If you move, you can move again. You can't engage. If you move, you can move again. You can't engage. And actually this should be or explore. Oh, I guess if you move at all, I actually already had it down here, but it's also technically true here. So if you move, you can move again. You can't engage at that point, and you can't explore. If you move, you can't explore. So basically, in order to explore, you have to kind of start your turn exploring. And then basically the only other thing you can do is engage. So then if you go down here, if you engage, you are allowed to explore. If you engage, you are allowed to engage again, but it'll cost you 1 light fatigue every time you engage. The constraint there is the dice. And then if you engage, you can move, but you can't engage again. And I don't believe you can move again, right? Because if you've moved twice, you can't engage. So this is where it's a little confusing. So we'll just read this move section here. So when your adventurer performs a move action, they move a number of hexes up to the value of their stamina. Makes sense. An ability that gives them additional hexes of free movement to an adventurer outside of their move action is not treated as a move action. Not in question here, but good to know. For each hex of movement your adventurer is allowed, you may move one unoccupied adjacent hex. This all makes sense. A move action or ability ends when you cannot or choose not to move additional hexes. So this is where I started to get a little confused. If you perform no engage action, so if you do not perform an engage action on your current turn, you may take a second move. So back to this thing here. So here I also could not move a second time to make this true. All right. So now that makes sense. So engage, I can explore as far as I know. I need to double check that. I can engage a second time, and basically as many times as my dice will allow, as long as I can continue to add light fatigue. I can move after the engagement, but I can't move again, and I can't engage again, I believe. You cannot perform a move action if you have performed an explore action that turn. You also cannot perform an explore action if you have performed a move action. So basically, you cannot explore and move on the same turn in any order. So here, where we have move, explore should be red everywhere, but that's just starting move. The other tricky part is if you explore, now you can't move. So that makes sense. Oh, sorry, I'm on the wrong view now. So now it's more confusing to you. Okay. And then when you engage, presumably you can explore because it did not say anything about engagement and exploration. You just can't explore and move on the same turn. For some reason, I don't know. You tell me, like, is this confusing to you as well? It's just the way it's written just doesn't quite makes sense. It's like that for me, it needs this chart, but it is conditional. I can definitely understand why that chart would be kind of, for some, not very intuitive. Your adventurer's movement cannot be interrupted by other actions, but it can be interrupted by abilities or events. All right. So this makes sense. So engage. This action represents your adventurer using their skills in battle. Adventurers may engage multiple times per turn, but are limited by the dice they can roll and fatigue they can gain. You may perform a move action before or after you perform an engage action, but not both. Okay. So you can move, engage. Let's see if my chart is true here. So you can engage and move. Great. But you can't do both, move and engage. So actually I'm pointing over here. So you can engage and move, but can't engage again and can't move again. Because if you've moved twice, as we see up here, you can't engage. If you move at all, or if you move at all, you can't explore, but you can't engage. Oh boy. Is this just me? Is this just hard for me? It totally could be, by the way. And then explore. This action is only available during delves. When you perform this action, you count the distance to an explorable hex in sight. If it is equal to or less than your stamina, you trigger an exploration on that hex. Sight is explained on page 58. Delve exploration is explained on 77 through 78. Note, the explore action and exploration are related concepts, but are not identical terms. The explore action triggers an exploration, but exploration can also be triggered in other words, such as moving on to, I'm guessing this is an explore hex. In the tutorial, you start on that and it doesn't count as one of your actions. So in the tutorial, you can actually continue to move after you've explored for the first time in the delve. So that's probably what this is referring to. You cannot perform an explore action if you've already performed a move action that turn. You also cannot perform a move action if you have performed an explore action. For some reason, that in my head, that is just so hard for me to comprehend. That is why I've made this. So yeah, maybe more of these to come. That's not what we are here for whatsoever. We are here. We're going to go into battle mode here. And here we go. We are in battle mode. As you'll see here, I've got a nice little zoomed in dice tray move here. I've also have our adventurer dashboard. I don't know how this view will ever work. Well, I'll need yet another camera in here if I play a second adventurer. That is for sure. You can see here, and then we will have kind of the current active, in this case, clash, so you can refer to that. One other thing that we can kind of do is just pop on over when we really want to take a look at the map. I think we've already seen this, and we can kind of deep dive into that map. Okay, we've done, I don't know how long we've been going here. We've been going for a while, and now we're ready to finally battle. Hallelujah. All right. So, I just said that and I still haven't read how to deal with a companion. Okay. This is what we do here. All right, companion turns. Now I got to look at this. Oh, I forgot to put my face up. Here I go. So the companion, we trigger any effect, skill dice, yada, yada, yada. Then we can move up to 2 hexes. The companion can be moved as chosen and does not follow normal enemy movement priorities. And then in the engage, the companion may engage opposing units, if able, following these sub-steps in order below. So determine targets. So we are referring to the companion's range and target icons. Oh, so it's still... So this one has 3 range. Well, this thing's kind of a beast, by the way. Scamps is not messing around. This side quest is actually huge. Even if I don't find the alcohol for the kids, this kid can wreck. Oh, a companion's targeting priority icon is ignored. So why did it say refer to the companion's range and target icons? What's a target icon if I'm ignoring targeting? I don't know. So roll all of the companion's combat dice. Scamps is rolling 3. This is wonderful. A companion rolls enemy combat dice. If the companion can engage multiple targets in range. Oh, so that's the targeting option. So I don't care about priority, but I do care. Scamps can only engage 1 enemy at a time. So it would be 1. Oh, I kind of like this companion mechanic. This is kind of cool for solo play. Resolve the roll, unit reacts, trigger abilities. Most companions have 1 or more skills from the enemy's skill reference. Unlike moving and engaging, resolving a companion's skills is not optional. Each skill must be resolved at its specified timing if able. If a companion engages multiple targets, each target is affected by each of the companion's relevant skills. All right, let's look at Scamp's skills here. So Scamps has Maim. After this unit's engage, apply a Maim status die to the unit's target. And let's see what Maim does. When the unit rolls combat skill dice, the total damage rolled is reduced by half, then rounded down. This effect does not apply to true damage. Wow. Now, does that status effect stay? on somebody. It also has native, and the native skill is Storm Seer. When this unit determines a target, its target must exhaust a number of dice from its active slot as determined by the current weather. I don't think that applies because there's no active dice slots for enemies. So we'll just go forward with Scamps has maim. They're going to be maiming people. I like that. All right. Here we go. We are finally ready to actually start our turn. So to start off, I can recover, but I don't need to recover. So I'm going to go straight up to my actions, use my action algorithm over here. I definitely want to stop this Nord Bandit. This Nord Bandit is going to either be going towards this or this cache. I can move to, and if I move, I can move again or engage at that point. So I'm going to move 2 towards the cache, and now I am allowed to engage. And when I engage, I can choose my battle form. I have 2 range, which both my combat and snipe dice can be rolled. However, I think in this first engage, all right, so on this first engagement, I think I can do 2. I don't have that worked out in my little algorithm over here. Because if I move, I can engage. I believe I can engage a second time, but I can only roll dice equal to my stamina stat. So I'm going to start off with my snipe dice here. Let's get our first roll in. How about that? How exciting is that? All right, we get a, okay. So our results here: deal X damage to your target, ignore 1 defense on your target for this engage. The one thing that I have here is once per battle, when performing an engage in the current battle form I'm in, the range, add 1 enemy combat die to your engage, plus an additional enemy combat die for each weapon in my inventory. Oh, so I forgot about that. So I am actually going to roll that as well. So we have these results. We'll slide those off there. So I'm going to use Reveler, this race ability, once here. And I don't have anything to do with stealth here for Nightblade, so we're good. All right, so that is helpful. That's 3 damage as far as I know. And I have a miss there, but I gain a tenacity. So I'm at 1. And now I do have access to some of my class ability. Summon Shade Interrupt. When any party member would be dealt damage, remove a stealth status die from your cooldown track to prevent that damage. Fortunately, I do not have a stealth status die, so that is not relevant whatsoever. So, enemy combat die. Up here. These go into the cooldown track. Got it. End of turn. Now, Scamp is going to move 2, and he's going to roll 3 combat dice. Oh, we'll try to keep whatever that was. Oh, yeah. So we do 2, 3, and 4 damage. Let's go, Scamps. Nord Bandit, you're done. This is good. This is very good. Let me make sure Steel didn't activate. I'll be referencing this stuff all the time. All right, so now we are on to the enemy turn. Hackwing is going to move 2 onto this cache and do 2 damage, I believe. All right, so what's going to happen here is Hackwing's going to move 2 on this cache. It's going to immediately do each adventurer. I don't believe a companion is an adventurer. And actually, I should probably go and look. There was some cool chart. Chip Theory, I like charts. Let's see, companions 90. Okay, so we're looking just at our chart here. So units, it's our party. Adventurers, it's an ally. So it looks like a companion. I'm guessing this is a companion. Is an ally, not an adventurer. My adventurer, other adventurers, temporary allies, companions, including quest units. Okay, so that is very good to know and super handy. So knowing that, I will take 1 true damage, and Scamps is all good. But that cache chip is discarded. Unfortunately for us, it has elusive, which basically makes it untargetable unless we start our turn next to it. So that kind of sucks. Yeah, so I have to get next to it. Okay, so first cooldown, recovering some dice here. I will move towards to try to get next to Hackwing. However, in the midst of that movement, there's an interrupt here on a cache. So now I'm going to, oh, I think I have some sort of special power. What was that? Wasn't there something I had that allowed me to draw when I'm at a cache 3 and keep the one I want? I don't know. What was that? I think I might be misremembering. I could have swore that I had some sort of, no, I don't think so. I think that's it. Okay. So what are we going to do here? That's right. We have this cache item here. I have 3 attempts to get 114. Let's see what happens. All right, we'll take the 1. So I have 2 more attempts, and then I can start to take fatigue in order to change the die 1 result, I believe. All right, so I will take 1 light fatigue to change this to a 1. So I have the 1-1, and then I have 1 more shot at hitting that 4. Otherwise, I have to take the rest in light fatigue, as far as I understand. Let's go. Somebody's rolling today. That is sweet. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, freaking sweet. So we have Dark Elf Curus. Add 1 enemy combat die to an enemy engage. After the engage, gain 1 tenacity for each damage the enemy dealt. Okay, that's interesting. The overtax do not take any damage from this engage. Okay, this is interesting. All right, so I'm going to continue my movement. This is my second movement. I think I should have already changed my battle form, which my intentions were to go to the defensive battle form. So I can roll the combat dice to get the active result, which is defense or damage prevention. So I've moved. Now I can engage. Let's see what we get. All right, well, we get another tenacity and 1 active result. Slot it in, and that goes into recovery. I could, as far as I know, engage 1 more time here. Although, all right, so actually I could engage again 1 more time with this other combat dice, which I will do, and I will have to take light fatigue to do so. So that is slotted in, and let's see what we get. All right, and another active result. Protect myself a little bit. Now our companion, oh, this is gone. Can our companion pick up caches? I don't think so. I don't think so. All right, so our companion is going to move 2 to be right next to it just in case. You know what? If I was smart, I probably should have continued movement this way so I could have gotten to this last cache. Oh, you know what? I can't even move on to a cache. That goes back. And I never got this thing. Oh, that sucks. Well, that goes with learning. There goes that item. That was kind of cool. So I would have just taken a different route. 1, 2, gotten there. That whole, I don't know, what is it? Lockpick attempt was BS. So go delete your comment as you yelled at me. I figured it out. I got it. Okay. So scamps can't do anything. The question is, if that unit is preventing damage, being elusive, can scamp still attack? I think so, because it just says it doesn't do any damage. However, does maim trigger? Yeah, I think so. So I think scamps actually rolls dice, doesn't do the damage, but applies the maim. And maim is this broken looking hand here. So now when this unit rolls combat dice, the total damage rolled is reduced by half, then rounded down. This effect does not apply to true damage. Okay, so now it's the enemy's turn, and this enemy, as per our little encounter here, wants to target that cache. I have him pinned in up here. How does this read? Adventurers cannot move onto caches. I got it now. Enemies always move toward and attempt to move onto the closest cache after an enemy. So is moving toward actually attempting to go around? If so, the enemy would get here and then target scamps. Presumably, its target is the lowest in health, which I don't know what the tiebreaker is there because they're both tied. However, if he tries to move over this way to get to, so 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces, he would try to get to this. So I actually think that happens. So I think this happens actually. And I think Jackwing actually attacks with its 2 combat dice, which just happened? Oh, I just rolled and you didn't even see it. Here, let's get rid of the big map here. Sorry, still getting oriented to all of this. I swear I didn't change it. That is the roll. And that is 2 damage. It is cut in half and rounded down. Oh, but Scamps has 2 defense. Scamps is a beast. So 1 damage actually does nothing to Scamps. That is helpful. Okay, so that status die does stay on Hackwing, FYI. All right, my turn. Cooldown. I get 1 back here. Light fatigue goes away. So I can't do any damage. The only thing I can really do at this point, I can't go on those caches, is move once. And I really just want to block this. Worst case scenario that we don't take out Hackwing. I'll move a second time for the block here. And Scamps is going to roll against Hackwing. No. There we go. So Hackwing, no defense, takes 3 hits here, and as far as I know, is defeated. Yep, done. Successful. By the way, I didn't mention, but the battle objective is Conquer, which is to do exactly what I just did, which is knock out all of them. All right, so reward phase. Oh, one thing I wasn't doing was I was forgetting to set the round die here. I did not change that. I think we're in the 2nd or 3rd round, so we didn't get to fatigue. It's all good. All right, that is it. The recovering, exhaust, the active dice, they're in the cooldown currently. Okay, so cleaned up the clash. I have to gain rewards, which is 2 XP. My XP marker goes up, and now we have 3 XP total. So if I'm at an unstable landmark and it completes a peaceful or conflict overland encounter, which I just did, or traveling caravan town encounter, each adventurer gains 2 tenacity regardless of whether the encounter was successful. Oh, that is nice. Now I have 4 tenacity for Nightblade. I don't have any quest keywords as far as I know here. Untrain. I don't want to untrain anything. Gain advancements. Each adventurer may spend XP on advancements. See page 31. An adventurer's save XP cannot exceed 3. So I have 2 XP right now. I think stamina might be the smart move here. With that 2 XP, I could expand my bow, or should I upgrade health or combat at that? So what do I have to do to get a level 2 die? Do I already have the... So to add a skill die, you must have trained that skill line either when creating your adventure or by visiting a trainer as a town action. To add a skill die of levels 2 through 4, you must also have at least 1 other skill die in the same line that is either the same level or 1 level below the new skill. Okay, so that makes sense. I think I like cool stuff. That's what I think here. I think I can either go volley or acid spray. Can you even see this? No. So for volley, I can deal a total of 4 damage distributed as you choose among enemies adjacent to you. That's interesting. Then place yourself in an unoccupied hex 2 to 4 hexes away from your current hex. Oh, that is awesome. And then acid spray, select up to 3 targetable enemies, roll 2d6s for each. Apply a Bane status die to each enemy for whom you roll a total of 7 or higher. Oh, what does Bane do? Bane, the unit is dealt 1 true damage at the start of each turn. Oh my lord, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. But I think I'm going to have to go with volley. This will help me get out of some sticky situations in the solo game. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to spend the 2 XP to gain this volley. All right. No, that's not volley. That's volley. Volley has been acquired. So now we have to do the province effects, which has us set the weather. And the weather is currently sunny. We have to draw a peaceful encounter and see what the weather says on it. And we are going rainy, so we are reducing our overland movement now to 2, I believe it is. No, to 3, I believe. Hold on. So base overland movement is now 2. And now I have to move our little animals that we're chasing, but I have to roll to see what direction. So they're going to move 3 hexes toward a destination of 3, and that is super helpful to me. So we will be able to catch up to them. So It is in this direction here. I think technically it would be off here, but 1, 2, 3, we'll have them trace that spot. So now they are currently within range here. 1, 2, 3. Interesting. All right, well, let me figure this stuff out and I'll be right back. All right, here we go. We're back. I've done the end of day stuff. And now it's time to figure out where on earth are we going to go. So increase the XP. Now we're moving on to day 3. I need to get to this token by day 4. I have 2 options. I can go and try to get more powerful. Here, actually, let's bring it in. Let's get close here. Bummer on the glare. This map's very glary on camera, so we're gonna have to chill on the light here for 1 second. Okay, so we have to make it to this token. This is our unnatural selection quest step. It's a clash if we get to it. It could be pretty nasty. XP sitting at 3. That's going to be 6 with our companion. That's a 1 and a 5. It's not awful, but it has these modifiers that are pretty gross. We have to roll a die, and the enemies could have plus 2 HP. They could increase their combat stat by 1, or the enemies increase their defense stat by 1. So our movement, though, is only at a base of 2. So I can go 1, 2 here next to it and trigger the peaceful Overland encounter. See what happens there. But then you risk, I guess the worst it can go if we stay. Maybe that's what I do. 1, 2 to this spot here, triggering our peaceful encounter. Well, let's take a look at this. Feats of strength. You stop, halted by the barker of a roving carnival. A toothless orc whose dingy appearance cannot suppress an inexplicable charm. Before you know it, you find yourself lining up at an even dingier booth, unslinging your weapon and preparing to test your strength at a possible rigged game of skill. Okay, cool. We got to a carnival. All right, for 0 XP, each adventurer may roll any number of their available combat skill dice. I'm guessing available means on the mat, which is only 1. And I only have 1 adventurer with the goal of rolling the most damage possible. Any adventurer who rolls 4 or more damage gains 2 bonus XP. All rolled combat skill dice are exhausted. This is unstable. We're not there. So the chances of me rolling a 4 are 0. So I don't think I can do that. Or your words prove your strength, not your might. So this is 1 XP. Make a social check. All right, I got to look up social check because I haven't done this before. Times 3. So number of people times 3. So it would be 1 times 3 equals 3. So whatever that means. If successful, treat this encounter reward as bonus XP. And each adventurer may draw 1 legendary loot. If unsuccessful, each adventurer gains 2 light fatigue. So I don't, unless I have skill dice related. So gather and roll die. Adventurers will, with relevant skill dice, usually speech dice, may choose to gather and roll available dice that would assist them in their social check. That's not going to work. I can spend my tenacity, which I have saved up here, and I have enough to get the difficulty value, which is 3. And if I do that, I can exceed, or I can, all right. So I don't have any sort of speech dice. Okay. This is all new. This is interesting. So basically I have to spend 3 tenacity, and if successful, I can treat this encounter's reward as bonus XP. I don't remember what that distinction is. Oh, maybe if it were to exceed the limit. And each adventurer may draw 1 legendary item if unsuccessful. Okay, I mean, this is pretty easy. We're definitely going to spend that tenacity and do this. All right, so we're spending our 3. We have 4, so now we're down to 1 tenacity. And now we get 1 XP for that, which I'll probably hold off on spending. And also get to draw a legendary item, which is cool. Hopefully, this completes our quest. Do we get here? I guess I'll put it over here so you all can see. Well, maybe what I'll do is I'm actually gonna bring up our special view. Okay, let's see what we get. So we need alcohol, not alcohol. All right, battlefield. Glyph of Shock. Enchant Adventurer. While in range, that helps. I'm mostly in range. The enchanted adventurer may change any of their rolled combat skill dice to 1 before resolving them. Is that just persistent? Enchanted adventurer, while in that form, may change any of their rolled combat skill dice to 1. Holy shit. That's kind of crazy. All right. Well, that's a big hit. We will absolutely take that. This is helpful. All right, and we're back here. I know I'm missing some order of operations on these days, and I don't have just an easy, I'm going to have to make myself an easy resource on these days because I'm having to find it each and every time in the book, and it's not particularly easy. All right, so Overland phase, New Day phase, encounters, got it. Encounter phase is done. We got our rewards. I'm not going to gain any advancements right now because I could increase my health, actually. That's all I could do. Health is probably pretty important. And I'm about to go in and, well, possibly go into day 4. Yeah, I think the smart, boring thing is to spend the XP to upgrade health, which I will do so, which gives me 1 more health. And I had already recovered, so I was already at full health. I can rest and I can remove 1 die. So that goes back up there. I am at full health, +5. And then we have a new weather, which is flooded based upon the Overland peaceful encounter that we had. So now we have to roll a d6 and let's see what happens to this pack of animals. So it's going to go south 1. All right. I can intercept now. So we are starting a new day. We are on day 4. This is the recommended spot. Oh, my XP needed to go up. So that goes up to 4 and we are in day 4. And we will move our 1 spot here and set up this clash. All right. So our clash is very similar to the last clash, except we have a little bit of a modifier here. We have to roll a d6 and see what our result is going to get us. 5. All right, so enemies increase their combat stat by 1. All right. We are sitting at 8 is our EP. So that's going to be 4 enemies. The first one has to be, an animal type or something like that. And we do get one. Oh, I guess. Yes. So number 5. Number 1 spot looks to be here. And then I need 3 ones. I guess I should probably actually pull them one at a time, to be fair. Let's put them back in. All right. We have a Spriggan. Hey, that's a tutorial. So number 2 spot would be here. And then number 3 spot would be here. Dark Elf Bandit. Okay. I have so much glare all of a sudden. All right, pretty simple here to get this quest step. We have to knock all of these out. All right, I'm sure I won't remember all of these, but we'll just go through them. So Dark Elf Bandit, 5 health, 2 range, 2 attack or combat die, and 0 defense. It has Divert. This unit cannot lose its last HP unless it's already at 1 HP prior to that taking. So I can't one-shot it. I've got to hit it for 4 essentially, and then try to knock it out again. Spriggan has Bane. After this unit's engage, apply a Bane status die to this unit's target. And then Bane, this unit is dealt 1 true damage at the start of each of his turn. That sucks. So that one's the worst. And then, well, we'll see. Hackwing, we just had Hackwing Swarm, I believe, or we had something Hackwing. It had elusive, which means we have to start our turn, right? Prevents all damage dealt to it. Yes, so we have to be adjacent to it and start our turn there before we attack it to do any sort of damage. Although we did find that Scamp's Maim will be helpful because it's swinging pretty hard there. But it also has the native, which I don't like. Keep having to go back. I have a bad memory, so keep having to go back and figure out what the native thing is. When this unit determines a target, his target must exhaust a number of dice from its active slot as determined by the current weather. Oh, crap. It's flooded, so 3 active dice if that thing targets. Oh, what is worse here? What is worse? Oh, geez. So what are we going to do here? What's our priority? Are we sacrificing scamps? Is that the deal? To remember, I have Reveler, the race ability, and so far Nightblade has not been particular helpful whatsoever. I haven't used it. When a stealth status die, the one thing I just don't is there's nothing. Everything is you get a benefit with a stealth status die. Oh, if I drain an available, I need to see that is such a tiny little symbol. That type of skill die. I don't know what that type is. Do I have any of that type of skill die? I don't think so. What determines a skill die type? Oh, I see. I believe, oh my gosh, so blind. I cannot make out what that symbol is here. So unfortunately for me, I don't think I have any of those skill die. I think it's this magic symbol. Did I make a mistake with the Nightblade? And the shadow that I want is not a magic type. Although shadow will help me apply stealth. Yeah, I need something like a destruction staff to be able to use shadowy disguise. That kind of sucks. So how helpful that line will be, I don't know. That's probably an ignorant mistake that hopefully I won't make again. So I have one tenacity right now. I mean, I can still use Soul Shred, applying Daze status. I can apply Fear status. 5 I can't use because I won't have a stealth. So basically, I need at least 3 tenacity to do anything with Nightblade, which kind of sucks. I have the Glyph of Shock, which allows me to change my die results. That is awesome. I have the Elsewhere Fondue, discard this item, then either roll 3 enemy combat dice and gain the tenacity equal to that damage rolled. Well, maybe we will strategically use that at some point to use like Soul Shred to put daze on everyone, especially if they are around me for whatever reason. So maybe that's what I want to try to do here, is to somehow find my way into this middle area so this stuff all surrounds me. I can apply daze, which I'm saying I want to apply daze. I don't know what daze does. This unit cannot roll dice on the same turn it moves. Okay. And it cannot move on the same turn it rolls dice. That could be quite helpful. Okay. I think I'm ready to start. The other big question is, do I want to go out over here at all? Who knows? All right, so I have 2 stamina. I can move. Well, first I will start by recovering my 1 combat. And maybe what I'll do is move to here, and then I can engage. If I somehow got 1, 2, 3, I was thinking about possibly using volley, which allowed me to deal a total of 4 damage distributed as you choose among enemies adjacent to me. Ooh, that could come in that could come in handy later on if I'm also trying to get them to surround me to be able to apply daze. So for right now, though, what do I want to focus on? Well, let's focus on getting rid of the Spriggan because it has Bane. Bane sucks. We don't want it to stick around. Oh, my battle form, I need to change to ranged, and I'm going to roll my 2 snipes. Now, do I want to start off using Reveler and adding the extra? Maybe not. Maybe I won't use that race ability yet. Let's just see what this does. Okay, well, we got a result of 2 and an increase to our tenacity, so we're up to 2 there. That's good. Spriggan does have a defense, though, which sucks. So he only loses 1 health there. And the question now that I've engaged, do I want to add a light fatigue to engage again? I think so. I won't have to deal with it until 2 turns from now, so why not? So I can roll 2 more. And what I think I'm going to do now is to use my race ability, Reveler. I can add 1 enemy combat die to my engage plus an additional enemy combat die for each weapon in my inventory. I do have a weapon, so I can roll these 2 with 2 enemy combat die. Let's see what we can do here. Oh, I guess I should have rolled all of them. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6. He blocks 1. He easily defeated. It's kind of overkill, but I will take it. That's exciting. 1 down, and I will end my turn there. Those go in cooldown. Feeling pretty good about that result. So now the tricky part is, so I have 3 range, so I can go 1, 2, 3 and be within range of Dark Elf, which probably makes a lot of sense. Go to here. Oh no, Scamps can't go 3, can only go 2. But we still have a range of 1, 2, 3, so we can get an attack in here. which is fine. Let's roll. And I believe it will apply maim as all on top of all of that. So let's just roll its result first. All right, so it does 3. There's no defense. Oh, this has divert. Dang it. I think, oh, can't lose its last HP until it's down to 1. Okay, that's fine. 3. Unfortunately, that means he's down to 2. So divert is cool for an enemy, bad for me. It means he's going to take at least 2 more attacks to defeat. Oh, you know what? Oh, I have to just remember they get 1 extra combat die. All right, that is it for scamps, with the exception it will apply maim, which will have it have its hits. Yeah, total damage will be reduced in half, rounded down. This is helpful. So now we're going to activate the enemies. Enemies will move 2 towards us. Let's see. I think I get to choose which one. I don't know. Do I get to choose which one goes first? So highest to lowest level. Okay, so this one's going to go. It's going to determine its target, and it's going to be able to hit both of us, but it's going to move towards the weakest. So we're going to go 1, 2. It's not within range, so nothing can be targeted. So if it were next to us, it would actually be able to hit us both. And native knocks off active die, which I don't have any. And that elusive means we also have to start turns next to it. All right, so it's going to move here. It has maim. It will throw a couple of attack die at us, but we are able to defend against that in a big way. Now, hits for the 4. We divide that by 2, so it's at 2. We're at 2 defense on scamp, so sorry, bro, nothing happens. And now to our turn. Now, this is where I might want to get tricky. So maybe I move 1, 2. I discard this item, then I either roll 3 enemy combat dice and gain tenacity equal to the damage rolled, or each adventurer rolls 1 enemy combat die. So what we're going to do is roll the 3 and just get the tenacity. So we get 3 tenacity. We are full. We will discard this. That is good. And I can... Oh, I forgot. I have to recover. I'll recover my 2. Okay. Now, do I want to apply daze to everyone and heal 1 HP for each daze applied? Or do I want to wait for them to attack me to be able to use this? I wish I had that skill type die to drain and get the stealth status die. That kind of sucks. What to do? Do I just straight up attack? Oh, I can. Ooh, I can use volley now. This could be incredibly helpful. All right, so let's do first engagement. We're going to roll. We are in range. We're going to roll a volley, which allows me to spread 4 damage how I would like it. That's incredibly helpful for Dark Elf Bandit. So I like this. I really like this. This is cool. So this is my target for snipe. Then I have volley. Deal a total of 4 damage distributed as you choose among enemies adjacent to you. Then place yourself in an unoccupied hex 2 to 4 hexes away from the current hex. Is that what I want? Maybe, to get out of the way. It's unfortunate, though, that I couldn't stick around and do damage here. Oh, you know what? The unit cannot lose. So with divert here, it cannot use its last HP unless it already has 1 HP prior to taking damage. So actually, what I'm going to do first is something tricky. I'm going to do 2 engagements and take the fatigue for it. But before I roll this, I'm going to roll these 2. 1 combat die, which I can change the results to. Actually, maybe that's all I will do. Okay, this is it. This is what I'm doing. I'm rolling 1 combat die. I have the glyph of shock. I can change it to 1, so I will hit it no matter what and hit Dark Elf. So let's do that. That's a miss. I can change it to 1 because Enchant Adventure, or we'll throw this over here. So while I'm in the range, I can change a combat to 1. So that's cool. So I hit Dark Elf for 1. He's down to 1. I couldn't knock him out if I wanted to. However, now I'm going to take 1 light fatigue. And now I'm going to do a second engage step. Okay, so this, just so you know, this is the first moment where like things are starting to kind of click from like a pretty excited perspective. I like the way this goes, assuming I'm playing them right. But now I've taken the light fatigue. Actually, technically, I think I would have put this combat die in first, then take the light fatigue for my second engage action. I'm going to look at my happy path here. Yes, one light fatigue each time. So now I can spin a volley. I hope I hit on this volley. That's what I'm hoping for. Come on, baby. Oh, that sucks. Okay, well, so unfortunately for me, now was that a legitimate result? What's the ruling here? Now, if it would have landed on volley on the side, I probably would have just like, yeah, let's go ahead and take it. That's the ruling. I don't know. What's your ruling when you have a die that's stuck on the side like that? Unfortunately, that's going to be a tenacity. That's going to be a miss. And unfortunately, I'm full on tenacity, so that doesn't help at all. But the good news is at least Dark Elf Bandit is gone. The bad news is I can't trigger volley, which means I can't move away. That sucks. Yeah, that sucks. Okay, so it's up to Scamps, which... Oh, Scamps can't do anything. He's elusive. You have to start your turn next to him. So I couldn't have even done anything to him, actually, now that I think about it. But at least I'd be out of the way. And poor Scamps would be the one being targeted. So do I want to move Scamps here? I mean, yeah, I guess we got to put him right next to him. The tricky part is Hackwing Swarm can just wreck house right now, as I was just so excited about taking that other one out. Oh, you know what? And I'm forgetting they're rolling one extra combat die. I'm trying to think, did I do that before? I don't know. We're going to chalk it up to my first game if I didn't. But we'll do it now. And unfortunately, it's going to target us both. Scamps at least has 2 defense. I've got nothing. This could be bad. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my God. This is brutal. All right, so Scamps is down to 1. I'm down to 1. Is this the way it ends, folks? Native won't trigger because we don't have any active die. We are slivered at this point. Completely slivered. And I recover 1. Get rid of a fatigue. I probably should have spent tenacity. What else can I spend tenacity for? Isn't there like a secondary thing I can spend tenacity for that might be helpful? Is that just to recover? All right, well, I am going to spend 3 tenacity here on Soul Shred. I'm going to apply Dazed status die to all adjacent enemies, and I can heal for 1 based upon the number. So this isn't as big of a class ability, but whatever. So this can't move and roll dice on the same turn. So knowing that, I can stick and move. He's got a range of 1, movement of 2. If I go 1, 2, it's got to go 1, 2 to get to me. Oh, yeah. If I just move, if I move, and my range is 2 here, 1, 2. So I can move here, still be within range. Battle form is correct. And that has me, I'm just got to roll what I can here. I already forgot. Did I recover? I can't remember. Did I recover? Oh, this makes a big difference. That's the one thing with these games. Good news. I just checked. I did recover. So that's it. All right. So I just have to attack Hackwing Swarm. Oh, so elusive. Do I have to be next to it? This will be... Okay. So I just had to be adjacent to it at the start of my turn. I am no longer, so I can attack. Fuck. All right. 1 tenacity. Oh boy, this could be bad. This could be really bad. All right, and I can't do anything else. So poor old Scamps here. This might be his last leg. He's gonna roll 3 against it. Has no defense. I mean, you know what? Here, let's do this the right way. We're going big on dice. We need 4. I mean, that's just the way it is. We need 4, and we get 2. I think Daze helps us though. I think Daze is gonna help us because. All right, so he's going to determine his target. Target is lowest health. It's here. So he's not going to move. Now, the question is, does he actually move here to get in position to hit both? I think it's probably true. We're going to go with that. In most cases, that doesn't help you. And I'm saying, let's go with it today because it's going to help me because he is dazed. Let's remind everyone what dazed is. This unit cannot roll dice on the same turn it moves. And can't move on the same turn it rolls dice. At the end of this unit's turn, remove this die. Okay. So whatever this is, the class ability seems to be working. This is exciting stuff. I'm excited. Are you excited? This is exciting. All right, let's see. Let's let Scamps take first shot here. Oh, although actually I think we have to stay in the same turn order now that I think about it. And since my Nord girl, what is her name, by the way? Probably got to come up with a cool name. I think, okay, so there's this, I know somebody, I don't want to dox them, that has a child named Skadi, Skadi, and I believe that's a Nordic goddess of the mountains. So we're going to call her Skadi. That's my character's name. I didn't even think about that until now. All right, so I recover. I don't have to move, but I can, and I still have a range of 2. So I go 1, 2. He can still move, but can't get to me. Worst case scenario. I can then roll, and I can move. I can change it to hits. I don't need to. I hit for 3. Let's go. First, I guess, is this technically a quest step? Is that it? You're done. Scamps survives yet another day. Scotty survives. Let's freaking go. This is exciting. All right, so reward phase. Is that what I'm doing here? I really do need my happy path. Okay, gain XP. So this did give us 2 XP. We have to increase our XP dial by 2. So now we're up to 6. When completed, go to entry B02. Gain advancements first. Oh, what do I want to do? I have 2 XP. I could go further into bow, or I can wait to get to a town to try to get a new skill, or I can do the smart thing and increase stamina. I think that's what I'll do. I'm going to increase stamina. That's better movement, roll more die, all of that fun stuff. So end of day phase has, oh, well, we got to read. Yeah, we won't go to end of day phase. We have to go to B02. So unnatural selection here. Representative of the guild arrives on site not long after you've vanished. Oh no, not long after you vanquished your first batch of afflicted creatures. Fascinating, the high elf remarks, holding up a strip of flesh. The corruption goes far beyond a disease of the mind. The beast's entire musculature has been affected. An unidentified viscous black liquid oozes down the sample. The mage frowns at it. I will need to take this back to one of our halls for further study, he says. In the meantime, we'll be needing more samples for comparative research. All right. So we're doing the same thing here. So place a token in Alton Coromont, and then we've just got to go, chase after it. Ongoing step effects during the activate province step. Roll 1d6 to determine the direction of the tainted animal's move. Okay, so it's the same thing. Same thing, going and finding another clash. Rinse and repeat, get more powerful, all of that fun stuff. All right, I don't feel like getting the map all in the frame. Well, maybe I will, even though we got massive glare here. All right, so we were down here with the beast. Now they're all the way up here in Alton Coromont. So we hope they travel back towards us. This one could be difficult in 4 days for sure. We would like to hit some towns. Unfortunately here, towns are kind of along the coast, which sort of makes sense. So like happy path, like do I divert quick? Oh, I guess I have a town right next to me I could hit first. Or do you roll the dice literally and do an unstable encounter and hope you get that traveling caravan? I don't know, but I do think I need to spend some time in a town. We'll see where it actually moves. I've had luck with it moving so far. That has been a benefit because I really need to make some more use of Nightblade. I will say Soul Shred saved me 100% applying the day status die and also being able to heal. That's pretty good. All right, so the province effect now that it's up here is we didn't have a peaceful encounter, so we have to draw one and see. You can see there that is going to rainy. So now we can move 2 instead of 3 spots, or instead of 1 spot. It's also going to move 2. I just realized that I might have moved it wrong in the first place. It has a different movement than my movement. So it will move in rainy. Yeah, it's going to move 3 spots. So we have to roll a d6 here and see where it's moving. So we definitely want 4, 5, maybe 3. 6 might be sort of helpful. 1 or 2 sucks. That sucks. So it's going to move 3 and it's going to run into itself there, which is not ideal. All right, so that is actually where I think I have enough footage to have at least an hour or so. We're going to stop there at day 4, moving on to day 5. We'll start in a new day phase in day 5 and keep chasing this wild pack of animals or whatever the hell it is. and try to take them out. I think we're probably going to go up to Root Whisper Village, try and maybe find some cool stuff, or maybe we sprint up north, especially since it's rainy. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what to do. Regardless, we're going to make that decision this next time. Thanks for being here. I'll see you next time.